Before you even open your mouth, people have already decided how to treat you. Respect isn't something you ask for, it's something you command by the way you carry yourself. When you walk into a room, your presence speaks before your words ever do. People are scanning, evaluating, and forming opinions in mere seconds. Think about it, when someone enters a room with confidence, head held high and a composed energy, you naturally take notice. Now contrast that with someone who walks in nervously, avoiding eye contact, shifting awkwardly. Which one do you respect more? First impressions aren't about the words you say, they begin the moment you step into a space. Before you even introduce yourself, the decision is made. The way you stand, the way you move, the energy you bring, it all speaks louder than words ever could. Why do some people command instant respect while others get brushed aside? The answer isn't in what they say, it's in what they show. First impressions are built on subconscious cues that people pick up on immediately. The way you stand, the way you hold yourself, the way your eyes meet theirs. It all tells a story. Weak body language signals uncertainty, and uncertainty invites doubt. Slouched posture, downward glances, hesitant movements. These all communicate that you don't believe in yourself. And if you don't, why should anyone else? On the other hand, strong posture, direct eye contact, and a steady presence send a completely different message. They signal self-assurance. They say, I belong here. And people respond accordingly. It's not about arrogance, it's not about pretending. It's about knowing your own worth and carrying yourself like you mean it. The unspoken rules of respect are written in body language long before words are exchanged. Power isn't something you explain, it's something you radiate. The strongest people don't have to announce their presence, they simply carry it with them. You can feel it in the way they walk, the way they take up space, the way they look at you without wavering. People sense confidence before they hear it. It's in the way you move, the way you sit, the way you hold your head up. A person who respects themselves doesn't have to demand anything. Respect is given naturally, but when someone is unsure of themselves, it shows just as clearly. Nervous gestures, uncertain posture, avoiding direct eye contact, these are signals that you don't trust yourself yet. And if you don't, no one else will. Before you speak a word, your energy speaks for you. Respect starts with how you carry yourself long before it's ever spoken aloud. Walk into a room and your body will answer this question for you. Do you take up space with confidence? Or do you shrink yourself to be unnoticed? Do you hesitate before stepping forward, or do you move with quiet certainty? It's not about being loud, it's not about forcing attention, it's about presence. A person who owns their space doesn't have to demand attention, it naturally comes to them. Their movements are sure, their presence is steady, their energy commands respect. But the opposite is just as true. If you step in hesitantly, trying to make yourself small, people won't respect you. They'll overlook you. If you act like an afterthought, you'll be treated like one. The difference isn't in words, it's in the way you show up, the way you claim your space, the way you present yourself without needing permission. People don't just decide to respect you out of kindness, they reflect back what you show them. If you walk into a space with hesitation, they will hesitate to acknowledge you. If you carry yourself with strength, they will respond with recognition. Respect isn't about asking, it's about demonstrating. It's about showing through your presence that you belong, that you matter, that you don't need external approval to validate your worth. Look at how people treat you. It's a mirror of how you present yourself. If you want to change how the world responds to you, start by changing how you carry yourself. There's a clear difference between those who naturally command respect and those who chase after it. The person who walks with quiet confidence never has to insist on their authority, it's simply recognized. But the one who constantly demands, you need to respect me, rarely gets it. Desperation is loud, power is silent. When you truly believe in yourself, you don't need to prove it. People just know. Confidence is not about forcing people to see your worth. It's about showing up with certainty, knowing that respect is a byproduct of self-respect. Power isn't claimed, it's acknowledged. And that makes all the difference. Confidence isn't about how loud you speak or how many people hear you. It's about what you believe when no one is watching. The strongest people don't seek attention, they don't have to. Their presence speaks for them. You see, real confidence isn't built by trying to convince the world of your worth. It's built by knowing your worth before the world even gets a chance to judge. Too many people think confidence is something you show on the outside, but it starts deep in the mind. Think about the person who walks into a room with an easy calm, no rush, no insecurity, just presence. That doesn't come from words, that comes from certainty. And certainty is built over time, through discipline, through experience, through overcoming struggles. So before you expect anyone to believe in you, ask yourself, do you believe in yourself? Because confidence isn't something you perform, it's something you live. It's not built on words. It's built on the quiet, unshakable belief that no matter what happens, you are enough. The moment you stop trying to prove yourself, everything changes. Confidence isn't about making people see your value. It's about knowing your value so deeply that their opinions don't matter. Look at the strongest people you know. Do they beg for approval? Do they seek constant reassurance? No. They move through life with quiet certainty because their worth isn't up for debate. Too many people tie their confidence to the way others react. If people praise them, they feel good. If people ignore them, they start doubting. That's not confidence. That's dependency. Real confidence is knowing deep in your soul that you don't need anyone's permission to be who you are. The truth is, when you stop looking for approval, people start giving it to you. Because confidence is magnetic. The more secure you are in yourself, the more people respect you. But that respect isn't what defines you, it's just a reflection of something you already knew. Confidence isn't something you wake up with one day. It's something you build piece by piece over time. Think of it like a bank account. Every action you take either adds to it or drains it. When you push yourself out of your comfort zone, when you keep your promises to yourself, when you stand tall despite fear, that's a deposit. But when you back down, doubt yourself, or let fear control your choices, that's a withdrawal. Too many people expect confidence without putting in the work. They want to feel strong without doing the things that make them strong. But confidence is built through action. It's built by showing up, even when it's uncomfortable. It's built by proving to yourself over and over that you can handle whatever comes your way. So ask yourself, are you making deposits or just taking withdrawals? Because confidence is earned, not given. And if you're not building it daily, don't be surprised when your balance is low. Some people walk into a room and instantly command respect. Not because they're the loudest, not because they demand attention, but because their presence carries weight. That's the power of real confidence. It's not desperate. It doesn't beg. It doesn't need to be the center of attention. It just is. You've seen this before. That one person who doesn't say much, but when they do, everyone listens. They don't need to dominate the conversation. They don't need to prove their worth. They just exist in their strength, and that strength is enough. Meanwhile, the ones who try too hard, the ones who seek constant validation, are the ones people ignore, because confidence that needs to be proven isn't confidence at all. It's insecurity in disguise. If you want to command attention, stop chasing it. Build yourself into the kind of person who doesn't need to be seen to be felt. Because true presence isn't about volume, it's about substance. And substance speaks louder than words. The strongest people don't need to tell you they're strong. The most powerful presence in the room isn't always the loudest. True power is quiet, steady, and unshaken. In a world where everyone is shouting to be noticed, the person who doesn't need to beg for attention stands out the most. Strength isn't in words, it's in the way you carry yourself, it's in the way you stay calm under pressure, it's in the way you don't flinch when life tests you. People chase attention because they think being seen is the same as being respected. But respect isn't given to the loudest person, it's given to the one who holds their ground, the one who doesn't need approval, the one who is steady no matter what. So the question is, do you need people to see you, or do they already feel your presence? Because true confidence doesn't come from proving yourself, it comes from knowing without a doubt that you don't have to. Before you even open your mouth, the world has already decided how to treat you. Your body is speaking for you, shaping first impressions, setting expectations, and defining how much respect you receive. Think about it. Have you ever seen someone walk into a room and immediately command attention without saying a word? They stand tall, shoulders back, head high, moving with a quiet confidence that makes people take notice. Now compare that to someone who enters with slumped shoulders, shifting eyes, and hesitant steps. Who do you respect more? Confidence isn't just a feeling, it's something people can see. If you stand tall and move with purpose, people assume strength. But if you shrink, slouch, or hesitate, they assume weakness. It's that simple. Your posture, your eye contact, your presence, all of these send silent signals before you ever say a word. The question is, what message are you sending? Your posture is more than just how you stand. It's a silent announcement of your strength. Those who carry themselves with certainty naturally draw respect, while those who fold into themselves are overlooked. Leaders take up space. They move with intention. They stand firm. You won't see a strong person constantly shifting, fidgeting, or avoiding eye contact, because confidence isn't just something you feel, it's something you display. Think about history's greatest leaders. They weren't the ones shrinking into the background. They stood tall, lifted their chin, and locked eyes with the world. Their presence was enough to make people listen. This isn't about looking intimidating. It's about carrying yourself in a way that signals strength, security, and self-respect. When you straighten your back, when you hold your ground, when you meet people's eyes with steady calmness, you shift how they interact with you. So ask yourself, does your presence demand respect, or does it invite doubt? Because before a single word is spoken, your posture has already answered for you. The weakest people rush to fill silence. They talk too fast, ramble too much, and speak just to be heard. But the strongest people, they understand the power of pause. Think about a person who holds your attention when they speak. What makes them compelling? It's not just their words. It's how they deliver them. The way they take their time, the way they hold eye contact, the way they pause and let their words sink in. When you speak too fast, when you rush to explain yourself, you sound unsure. But when you control your pace, when you pause with intention, people hang on to your words. Silence is not weakness, it is not hesitation, it is power. The person who can hold silence, who can sit in it without discomfort, commands attention. Because in a world that's always rushing, the one who slows down stands out. So the next time you speak, don't be afraid to pause. Let your words land. Let the silence build weight. Because the person who controls the silence controls the room. The way you move tells people everything they need to know about you. Do you hesitate? Do you fidget? Do you make yourself small? Or do you move like someone who owns their space? Leaders walk with purpose. They don't rush, they don't shuffle, and they don't stumble through a room unsure of themselves. Every step is intentional, every movement is controlled, every glance carries meaning. Now watch someone who lacks confidence. They fidget with their hands, their steps are uncertain, their eyes dart around looking for approval, they follow instead of leading, and people pick up on it instantly. Powerful people don't just move differently, they move deliberately. When they enter a room, they don't wait to be noticed. They don't ask for permission to exist. They claim their space, and that alone makes people take them seriously. So ask yourself, do you walk like a leader, or do you move like someone waiting to be led? Because the way you carry yourself will always speak louder than the words you say. Imagine a lighthouse, tall, steady, unshaken. No matter how hard the storm rages around it, it stands firm, lighting the way for others. That's the kind of presence you need to have. Most people are like waves, always shifting, always reacting, always adjusting themselves to the expectations of others. But the ones who command respect, they are like the lighthouse, grounded, unmovable. People are naturally drawn to steadiness. They trust those who remain strong under pressure. If your energy is scattered, if you are constantly seeking approval, if you let insecurity shape your actions, people will hesitate to follow you. But when you stand firm, when you hold yourself with quiet strength, when you move with certainty, when you remain unshaken, even when others doubt, you become someone people respect. Strength isn't about overpowering others, it's about being someone they can rely on. Be the lighthouse, not the wave. Because in a world full of uncertainty, the one who stands firm will always command the most respect. Respect isn't something you beg for, it's something you enforce. The way people treat you is a direct reflection of what you tolerate. If you let others talk over you, dismiss your time, or cross your boundaries, they will keep doing it. Not because they don't know better, but because they see you allowing it. Let me tell you something. People don't mistreat you by accident. They watch how you carry yourself, how you respond, and what you let slide, and they adjust their behavior accordingly. So ask yourself, what standard are you setting? Are you someone who lets things go just to avoid conflict? Or do you make it clear through your actions that respect is the bare minimum? The moment you start demanding more from yourself, others will follow. And if they don't, you'll know exactly who doesn't belong in your life. Respect isn't just about what you expect, it's about what you refuse to accept. The ones who command the most respect are not the ones who talk the most, they are the ones who speak with purpose. When you over-explain yourself, when you justify your actions, when you constantly seek approval, you weaken your position. The more you try to prove your worth, the less people take you seriously. Powerful people don't need to convince anyone of their value. They show it through their actions, their presence, and the weight behind their words. They don't waste time arguing with people who don't respect them. They don't beg to be heard. So here's the rule. Say less, but make it count. Let your silence speak when words aren't necessary. Let your actions prove what explanations never could. Because when you stop giving energy to those who don't deserve it, you'll see just how much respect you gain. Imagine for a second that your time and energy are pure gold, precious, limited, not for just anyone. Now, ask yourself, are you handing it out like cheap flyers on a street corner? Are you letting anyone and everyone take from you without earning it? People treat you based on how you treat yourself. If you give away your time too freely, they won't value it. If you constantly make yourself available, they will assume you have nothing better to do. The most respected people guard their time like a treasure. They don't waste it on meaningless conversations, draining relationships, or people who only take but never give. They invest it wisely on growth, on self-respect, on things that build them up instead of breaking them down. So take a step back and look at where your time is going, because if you don't start treating it like gold, no one else will either. Boundaries are not about what you say, they are about what you enforce. If someone keeps testing your limits, it's not because they don't understand them, it's because you haven't made it clear enough. Words mean nothing if your actions don't back them up. Think about it. If you tell someone, I won't tolerate disrespect, but you let them get away with it over and over again, what message are you really sending? That your words are empty, that you don't actually mean what you say. Boundaries are not just requests, they are lines in the sand. If someone crosses them, there must be consequences. Not threats, not warnings, actions. Because the truth is, people don't respect boundaries that they know can be bent. If you keep making excuses, if you keep forgiving without change, if you keep hoping they'll finally get it, nothing will change. Respect starts the moment you stop letting people treat you like an option. Disrespect doesn't always need a loud response. Sometimes silence speaks louder than words. A calm stare, a raised eyebrow, a refusal to engage. Weak people overreact. They let their emotions take control, and in doing so, they lose power. But strong people, they enforce their boundaries without ever needing to raise their voice. Think about it. Who do you respect more? The person who yells, gets defensive, and argues back, or the one who remains composed, unshaken, and simply removes themselves from situations that don't serve them? You don't have to fight for respect. You just have to stop allowing disrespect. Walk away when necessary. Address issues calmly but firmly. Make it clear that you don't entertain nonsense. Because the person who knows their worth doesn't waste time proving it. They show it through how they react or don't react at all. People who speak less are heard more. That may sound strange, but think about it. When someone talks too much, their words start to lose value. It becomes noise, background chatter, something easy to it. But when someone speaks with precision, choosing their words carefully, people lean in, they pay attention, because they know that when this person speaks, it matters. The truth is, the more you talk just to fill silence, the less people respect what you say. If you want to be taken seriously, start treating your words like currency. Don't spend them carelessly, make them valuable. You don't need to comment on everything. You don't need to explain yourself to everyone. Let your words carry weight by using them with intention. The less you say, the more impact each word has. So here's the rule. Speak when necessary, not just when there's an opening. Stop wasting words on people who don't listen. Because the ones who truly hold power are the ones who know when to be silent. There's a big difference between being the loudest in the room and being the most respected. Some people think that talking the most means they have control. They believe that dominating conversations will make them seem important. But real influence doesn't belong to the one who speaks the most. It belongs to the one who speaks the best. The one who doesn't need to prove anything. The one who talks only when necessary, and when they do, everyone stops to listen. Think about the people you respect the most. Are they the ones who are always talking, always explaining, always needing to be heard? Or are they the ones who observe, who choose their words wisely, who don't feel the need to fill every silence? Respect isn't about volume, it's about presence. The most powerful people don't waste words, they use them like a weapon. And that's why when they do speak, their words carry weight. If you want to be respected, stop competing for attention. Instead, start making people wait for your words. Silence is a weapon. It forces people to pay attention, It makes them uncomfortable, forces them to fill the space, and shifts the power in any conversation. Most people rush to respond, they can't handle silence, so they talk just to fill the gap. But the person who controls the pause, the one who isn't afraid to sit in silence, is the one who commands the room. Think about a great speaker. What makes them effective? It's not just what they say, it's how they say it. The pauses, the moments where they let their words sink in. Those pauses create tension, they create weight, they make people hang on every word. If you want to take control of a conversation, stop rushing to speak. Let there be silence. Let the other person sit in it. Let them wonder what you're thinking. Because sometimes saying nothing at all is the loudest response you can give. Today, say less. Instead of explaining, instead of filling space, instead of trying to be heard, pause. Let your words breathe and watch how people react when you stop talking so much. Watch how they lean in, waiting for your thoughts. Watch how they start respecting your words more simply because you use them less. It's a simple challenge, but it will change the way people see you. The ones who speak all the time are easily ignored, but the ones who speak only when necessary, they don't have to fight for attention, it comes naturally. So today, hold back. Don't explain yourself unless it's truly needed. Don't add unnecessary words to conversations, and most importantly, when you do speak, make every word count. Because the less you say, the more powerful your voice becomes. Respect starts in your mind. If your confidence depends on other people's opinions, you will always be at their mercy. True power comes from within. It's the kind of confidence that doesn't waver based on who's in the room or what's being said. Let me tell you something. If you let the world decide your worth, you'll be chasing approval for the rest of your life. One moment people will praise you, the next they'll doubt you. If your self-worth rises and falls based on their opinions, you will never have control. The strongest people don't need outside approval to feel secure. They know their worth whether the world sees it or not. They move through life with certainty because their confidence isn't borrowed, it's built. So ask yourself, if everything external was stripped away, the titles, the compliments, the recognition, would you still hold your head high? Would you still believe in yourself? Because until the answer is yes, you haven't found true power. People don't respect words, they respect presence. And presence isn't just about how you look, it's about what you carry within you. The way you think determines the way you move. If your mind is weak, it will show in your posture, your voice, your decisions. But if your mind is strong, if you carry yourself like someone who knows their worth, people will sense it without you having to say a word. Think about those who command attention without demanding it. It's not their words, it's their presence. And that presence is built through discipline, through daily habits that reinforce strength. How you talk to yourself, how you react to pressure, how you handle setbacks. These things decide whether people see you as strong or weak. You can't fake presence. It's a reflection of the work you've done on yourself. So if you want to build an aura of strength, don't start with your voice, start with your mind. A lion doesn't walk into the jungle and say, "I'm the king." It doesn't need to. Its presence speaks for itself, the way it moves, the way it carries itself, the quiet dominance in its eyes. The same goes for you. The most powerful people never beg for respect. They never demand attention. They never try to convince the world of their worth. They simply embody confidence, and people recognize it. Weak people talk too much about who they are. They over-explain. They seek approval. They try to prove something. But strong people, they don't need to prove anything. They just are. If you want respect, stop talking so much about what you deserve. Start showing it through your actions, your discipline, and your presence. Because real strength isn't loud, it doesn't ask to be seen, it just is. Starting today, stop explaining yourself. Stop over-explaining your worth. Stop trying to convince people to respect you. Just be. Walk with authority, not arrogance. Speak less. Observe more. Let your presence say everything without you having to force it. People can sense desperation. They know when someone is trying too hard to be noticed. But they also recognize quiet certainty when they see it. The person who moves with purpose, who stands firm without needing validation, those are the ones who command respect. So here's your final challenge. Stop chasing approval. Stop explaining why you deserve to be treated a certain way. Stop seeking recognition. Instead, start carrying yourself like someone who already knows their worth. Because when you do, the world will follow.